Tonight's video is about some changes I'm going to make to the WSQ procedures. I'm using a new screen program that Ms. Cervantes recommended, and while my Prometheus slate won't work, I'm going to be able to talk to you anyway, so you're going to have to pay good attention. Part of the reason that I'm doing this tonight is because, first of all, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to talk about taking better notes, and that's really a problem with some of you guys. Your notes aren't so hot. So that's one of my focuses. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start something called a WSQ chart. I want to introduce that to you. And finally, I'm going to change the way you do your summaries, because those haven't been great either, and I think for some of you, it's just become busy work. Okay, first let's look at how I expect you to be taking notes. The thing that you need to understand about the notes is your ISN is the textbook for my class. I think if I collected some of your ISNs, you'd be in trouble because you haven't glued things in, your notes aren't dated or labeled. That's not the way a textbook is going to help you out. I expect the notes you're taking from the video to be just like the notes you took if I was breathing down your neck in class. They're there to help you. They're there to be a place where if you need an answer or how to figure something else out, you can go and figure it out. It's a place where you can go and get ideas or find possibilities. So your notes need to be organized, and for some of you they're not. They need to be organized so that you can find a line or two without having to reread the whole block of text. The second thing is that your notes need to be complete, and that means you include everything I've written on the slide as well as the things I'm saying as I annotate with the notes with additional information. And all of this should be in your own words. You already have mine. Put them in your own words so that it's clear. And finally, they have to be legible. I can't read half of what you write. I don't understand how they're going to be helpful if you can't read them. Okay? The second change I'm going to make is I'm going to issue a WSQ chart. And what this WSQ chart is going to do is it's going to be a way to help you keep track of what you're supposed to be doing. Why am I doing it? Because way too many of you come to class and say, oh, I watched the wrong video, even though there's a date on the video and the content is described in NiceNet. Too many of you are forgetting to post your summary and writing it in your notebook instead, and then I don't see them. And too many of you are forgetting to write a question. So, what this WSQ thing is a chart. It's about half a page long. And you're going to keep it in your notebook for the week. And each day, I'm going to initial that you completed certain things. It's also a place that's going to list what the concept of each video should be that you're watching each night. So you'll have some idea of whether you're watching the wrong one or not. And finally, it's going to give you a list of questions that I expect your summary to cover after you viewed the video. Okay, and the third thing that's going to change is the way you do your summary. They're going to be a little more structured, mainly because your summaries are not meeting, a lot of your summaries are not meeting the purpose. The reason I have you post a summary is so that I can see what you understand from the video, so that I can see what's mastered, where you're unclear, or have you misunderstood something. But what I'm getting lately, some of you are copying my words directly off the slides. I already know them, I read them. Or you're just giving me a very shallow skim over the top of the topic. So here's what we're going to do. Your WSQ chart is going to list questions that I expect you to answer within your summary. In your own words, not mine. Your summaries are going to be graded on the rubric you've included into your ISN, which means I expect it to be in paragraphs, not a list of questions. If I wanted a list of questions, I would tell you to do that, and I would call it a list of questions. I do not want a list. Question number 1 is this. Question number 2 is this. I want a paragraph, please. That's what the rubric describes. But within that paragraph, I would like you to answer the questions that I've posted. All right, let's take a look at what one of these looks like so you get a feel for what I'm talking about. This is the one, this is the first WSQ you're going to get the day after we finish SOLs, thank God. Okay, so you can see over here is the date. So the night of the day it was assigned, since it's assigned for Thursday night and Friday night, you will be watching this video, which means, I'm going to get rid of it here. In class that day, you're going to have a work plan because your final draft will be due next week. The concept, the video, is going to be about peer conferencing on the 14th and the 15th. These are the questions I want included in your summary paragraph. Remember, not a list. Question number 1, question number 2, but a summary paragraph. When you get to class on Monday the 18th, I'm going to check to see if you have notes. If you do, and they're organized, I'll put my initials. I'm going to check and see if you've got a question recorded. If you do, I'm going to put my initials. I'll grade your summaries from NiceNet. We'll go ahead, and this is what we're going to be doing in class that day. That night, on Monday the 18th and Tuesday the 19th, that night, you will have an editing quiz in class the next day, and your work plan in class the next day is to finish your draft because it's due next class. The video on the night of the 18th and the 19th is conclusions. Here are the questions I want in your summary paragraph. On Wednesday, let me see, Monday, on Wednesday the 20th, is that right? Yeah, 20th. And on Thursday the 21st, I'm going to check your notes. Do you have notes on conclusions? If you do, I'll sign it off. Do you have a question on conclusions? If so, I'll sign it off. Well, this is what we'll be doing in class. Your homework on the night of Wednesday the 20th and the night of Wednesday the 21st will be to watch the video, An Introduction to Poetry, in our poetry unit. You're going to write a summary to answer these questions. When you have it on Friday the 22nd or Monday the 25th, I'll initial here. And in class on the 19th, we will be doing some writer's notebook work and looking at some possibilities for poetry. So this describes what's coming in the next class. Okay? Remember to be an active viewer tonight. Pause, rewind, rewatch. Some students say they watch the video once, then they go back and watch to take notes. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Passive viewing isn't going to work, and it's going to catch up with you. I expect you to take good notes. Excuse me. Beginning tonight with this video, I will be looking for organized, legible notes. That means you may want to highlight important ideas or terms in your notes. That means I'm looking for bullets, lists, graphic organizer, I went blank. But some kind of organization so that you can pick the information out. Write one good question under your notes. I will be checking. And post a summary of tonight's notes. And here are the questions I expect you to work into your summary paragraph. Why did I change the SQ procedure? What is the purpose of the chart? Why is it important for you to take good notes? And what do I expect to find in your summaries? I hope this new video works out well. When I figure out how to do the Promethean board, I think it will be better. Until then, take your time, watch the video, and I will see you in class. Have a nice evening.